Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Mindful Monday. This is Pam Stotzel with Center for Health Improvement, which is part of Population Health. So happy to have you all here today. What we're going to start with today for our breathing exercise is a new exercise for us called box breathing. This actually comes, the name comes through Navy SEAL lineage. It's also known as square breathing or 4-4-4-4 breath. You can see in the diagram why it's called that. This breathwork technique slows the heart rate and deepens our concentration. It heightens efficiency and performance as well as provides stress relief. It's best to use this in the morning when you wake up or in the middle of the day if you're feeling sleepy or before a big project or meeting that requires you to really have good focus. But what this technique is best known for is resetting your breath, and it can be used to slow down your breath in the flight or fight response. So it's a very powerful yet simple relaxation technique that aims to return your breathing to a normal rhythm, and it can help to clear your mind, relax your body, and improve your focus. So it's a great tool to have in our mindfulness toolkit. So how we do this is we start out by releasing all the air out of our chest, and then we're going to breathe in for a count of 4. So you're mentally going to be counting to 4. You're going to hold for a count of 4, and then you're going to release the air for a count of 4. You can release the air out of your nose, but we would prefer you to try to release it out of your mouth. So it's release all the air from your chest to start. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. We're going to practice that together, and I'm going to walk you through it as you're breathing, and I'll be doing counting for you as well. So get comfortable. Everybody release the air out of your chest. Here we go. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Now you may have caught it. I made a mistake in talking you through that, which is one of the easiest mistakes to make with this. So I'm actually glad I did that, which is forgetting to hold between the breathe in and the breathe out. So just remember that it's breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. And I really like this diagram that you see to help remind you of that. Now, if holding is for 4 is too hard for you, you can reduce that to a count of 3. If you practice this and 4 is too easy for you, you can increase it to 5 or 6. So you can kind of play with this a little bit to make it work for you. Again, it is a pretty simple technique when you practice it, but like all of our mindfulness techniques, it does require practice. And once you get practiced on it, what we'd really like you to try to do is to do this continuously for about at least 3 to 4 times in a row. Or until you start to feel the calm return. And depending on how much that flight or fight response is kicked in, it could take up to a couple of minutes for that calming feeling to return in that normal rhythm of breathing. Next, I wanted to talk to you about something that's known in mindfulness practice as beginner's mind. This is when we drop all of our expectations and our preconceived ideas about something, and we try to see things with an open mind, with fresh eyes, just like a beginner would. If you've ever learned something new, you can remember what that's like. You probably felt a little confused because you didn't know how to do whatever you were learning. But you're also looking at it as if it's brand new and perhaps with curiosity and wonder. And that's really what beginner's mind is. So we're going to do a pretty simple exercise. I say simple, but not easy, to practice beginner's mind. And what I want you to do is to find an object that's near you. a pen, a pencil, a piece of paper, a picture. It'd be best if it's something that you can pick up and hold in your hand. What I'm going to ask you to do is to gaze at the object for a period of time, and I want you to really try to use beginner's mind. So what that requires is that you'll strip away the name of whatever you normally would call that object, and you'll try to keep looking at it with fresh eyes. For example, if I picked up a pen and was using a pen for this exercise, I would look at it and as if I didn't know that it was called a pen, I didn't know that it was for writing, and I'd never experienced it before. That requires me to be open to using beginner's mind, and my mind is going to throw in all kinds of preconceived ideas and possibly even judgments. I have to let those float away like a cloud and come back to really trying to use beginner's mind. I want to notice the form and shape and texture and color of whatever the object is that I'm holding, and I want to use all my senses that I can use for this object. So again, I'll be feeling the texture of it, the weight of it, the color of it. I may be able to smell the object. I'm certainly going to see the object, but I'm doing all of those things again with that beginner's mind. If you do this for long enough, the object may become foreign to you. And that's when you experience a ping of curiosity followed by the thought, what is that? So this is a great mindful observation. Again, pretty simple when we explain how to do it, but not easy. So I'm going to give you about a minute to do that, starting right now. Okay, that's been a minute. My guess is that if you aren't used to doing mindful practices, in particular using beginner's mind, this past minute felt more like 10 minutes or longer. And it is hard work. I've heard the phrase that doing mindfulness is like doing push-ups for the brain, and it really is. And you probably just experienced that mental workout you just did trying to really stay focused on this object and use beginner's mind. So for homework, what I'd like to ask you to do is a pretty popular exercise in the world of mindfulness, and it is the raisin exercise. This was actually started by Jon Kabat-Zinn, who is a leader in mindfulness activities, and he, by the way, is a great author to look up if you ever want to read more about mindfulness. What this exercise includes is it involves putting on a beginner's mind lens and eating a raisin. And you can try it at home in the company of yourself. So you take a raisin and you put it in your hand. You pretend as if it's just been dropped off from another planet. You've never seen a raisin. And with an inquisitive, open, non-judgmental perspective, you examine the raisin. We want you to explore it, to smell it, to feel it, and then to taste it. Engage your senses in the moment in a non-judgmental way. With all your attention, you want to try to become one with this raisin. If you seriously practice cultivating a beginner's mind, you'll notice that you have a positive shift in the way you relate to your experiences. You can't help but be aware of this change. You'll relax into the experience as opposed to showing up with expectations and preconceived notions. A beginner's mind is a practice, and unfortunately, unless you are a baby, this will not come naturally to you. So it's like a muscle, and the more the practice it, the more you will get out of it. So I hope that you will all take the plunge in this and find a raisin and do the beginner's mind raisin exercise, because it is a great one to practice this type of beginner's mind attitude. And then lastly, as I do every week, I want to remind you that mindfulness takes practice. Daily practice is best. About 20 minutes a day would be great, although it can be broken up. This week, try to practice that box breathing if you can, remembering that it's especially good in the mornings when you're feeling groggy during the day before you need to focus, and most especially if you're feeling really panicked and you've got that fight or flight response going on and the adrenaline's kicked up. It can really help calm you down and get your breathing back to normal. Secondly, I'd like you to practice beginner's mind and do the raisin exercise. That's it for this week. I thank you all for joining us, and we will be back in 2 weeks with another Mindful Monday. Thank you.